And if you look at the chart, we have the moon standing alone, and then there's this stack of planets opposing that moon. Oppositions in astrology represent some type of friction or stressor. And I think this energy is about finding the balance for your inner and outer life again. This stellium in Aquarius shows that there's a lot of outer life demanding so much of us. And this full moon in Leo is a reminder that you have a role to play for yourself too. This energy gives you clarity on what you really want. Okay, my light went out, but why do I kind of like this lighting better? And Mars being involved with this new moon gives you the energy and the drive to go after what you really want. A moon in Leo can give you the courage to say yes. You know what needs to be done in order for you to reignite your inner flame, your life force energy. Leo is fixed fire, so this is about holding on to your passions, holding on to what makes you light up. And there's something about your gifts, your skill sets, your lessons that you need to put out into the world. Like, the world really needs this. And this type of energy says to me that whatever change is going on, like, it needs to be initiated by you. It needs to be activated by you. You could do that by having the courage to say yes to something. You can also activate your life again by releasing something that's been heavy, or making some type of big decision that you've been going back and forth on, or even just cleaning your space and refreshing your space. Like, if you want to make a change in money, then you would refresh your office. If you want to make a change in your stability, like, refresh your home. You could also speak your intentions out loud, or you could end something. You know, this is the energy of like pruning the plant so that way you can encourage new growth. Leo energy is very creative. It's about leadership, integrity, self-respect. But these things could be activated through opposition, through challenge. So if you face a challenge, this is not your time to run away with your tail tucked between your legs. Boss up. Aquarius energy is also very liberating. So this is about getting liberated from a place in life that felt stagnant. There are a few shadow sides to this energy, so let's talk about it. And the reason I like to talk about it is so that way you know how to prep for it. It's like knowing that it's going to storm. So if you know that, you can go grab a sweater and a raincoat and be ready. I got my eye on Mars and Pluto, okay? Because Mars and Pluto in Aquarius is bad boy energy, and we have them involved in this, full moon. Mars rules over cuts and Pluto rules over transformation. So I think there's something about the house that Aquarius rules in your chart that you need to separate from, that you need to cut off, because it's causing tension. And I am going to do sign by sign zodiacs. You can check my page to see if that's up yet. But in those videos, I will break down this energy for your specific sign. And Pluto being here tells me that there's something about the shifts and the changes going on under this energy that are very private, or like at least protect them, keep them private. And the reason for that is I think other people just might not get it. That's very Aquarius coded. And I think there's almost this lesson here about not needing outside validation. Because look at this moon, it's going up against like a whole group of people. Leo energy is connected to the heart, so there could also be this big outpour of emotions, followed by then extreme detachment. And something I think is very interesting is that in Vedic astrology, this full moon is going down in the nakshatra of Ashleisha. And Ashleisha is connected to the divine serpent energy. So I almost feel like this huge outpour of emotions is like pulling out that venom, pulling out that poison. And then the extreme detachment that follows it is kind of like, oh, I feel better now that that heaviness is out of my, emotional space. And something to note about venom is that sometimes it is the key to the antidote. And I think there's this opportunity to turn your pain into healing, to turn any poison in your life into an antidote. And maybe that is what you're sharing to the universe. That is what you're putting out. That might be what's needed, especially if you're in any healing spaces. Like I said, there's also this energy of pruning what's dead. So I think this is an excellent time for a cord cutting ritual. Also a great time to let go of any physical objects from the past, because they could sometimes act as energy anchors. I also feel like in whatever house that Leo rules in your chart, there's something about this area where you start to feel content, like you're no longer chasing something, it's yours. It's like if a caterpillar were to chase and rush becoming a butterfly. Like, there's no need to do that. That is set in stone and written in the stars. That caterpillar will become that butterfly. And sometimes we get the most angsty when our butterfly moment is right around the corner. And there's really no need to worry. Like, this energy does get you unstuck. It will take you out of comfort zones that don't expand you, because there's more out there for you. Now I know with all this astrology talk too, there could be this pressure to initiate it. This pressure to start that new life, this pressure to manifest. But you also have to remember that starting something but not having the energy to finish it defeats the purpose of starting it at all. So it's okay to wait. It's okay to plan. This whole Aquarius stellium is ruled by a very mature and patient Saturn. This is a Saturn at the 28th degree of Pisces. This is a wise energy. So I think it's okay to take time to yourself and recharge. And when you have that full energy for it, then you can go for it. This could also be an energy where you pull back and you contract your resources in order to prepare for what's next. Sometimes things have to contract before they expand. Again, it's like pruning a plant to encourage new growth. And since Leo is connected to the heart, I'm feeling like there is this opportunity for heart-to-heart conversation. This is a time to set boundaries, be real with people, say what's on your chest. And this big old stellium in Aquarius can kind of make us future trip a little bit. That is when we're stressing so much about the future. And you have to remember that caring too much about your past takes energy away from you. Caring too much about your future also takes energy away from you, because you aren't existing in those time periods anymore. You're here and in the now. And it is actually the present moment, the choices you make right now, and the actions you take today that determine your future, not you overthinking about the future. And I feel like overthinking about anything can get messy right now. This energy screams 90s movie to me, where we're at the beginning and the main character is having a messy transition in life. And what this chart says to me is it doesn't matter how messy your life is right now. What matters is that it's original and it's yours and it's unique to you. And you are honoring those roles that you promised yourself. My advice to you is to play pretend. Do you remember when we were little kids and we wanted to be a princess, or we're playing pretend as a firefighter? We fully believed we were that princess or that firefighter. We took on the qualities and the characteristics of what we thought a princess or a firefighter would be. Now you're working with the law of assumption. And law of assumption is just this belief that your internal state is your reality. This does not mean the thoughts you have are your reality. I don't think that's true. It's the thoughts that you hang on to. It's the thoughts you believe in that become your reality. Because if you don't choose to hang on to them, then all the thought is something passing through. And the key with law of assumption is that you're not just thinking, but you're feeling it, you're sensing it. Like an actor who is method acting. Some of them literally method act so hard that they become their character. I think we have that ability to do that too. And this full moon in Leo, we're all getting new character skins. And these are very authentic, true to us character skin. Which reminds me of how this full moon is tied to divine serpent energy. There is this ability to shed our skin and allow a new version of us to come through. Aries, full moons bring an energy of a cycle ending. This could be a cycle around creativity, pleasure, how you have fun, addiction, how you express yourself, your relationship to joy, what excites you, what brings you to life. The fifth house can have a lot to do with creation. And so this could be about creating your life. Maybe you're taking that more seriously. Maybe you're doing it without needing approval from other people or validation. And I think something about your internal force is becoming stabilized. You're letting less distraction and bullshit that's outside of you that you can't control take you away from yourself. You're not letting that happen. I think you're honoring yourself more. You're honoring what new paths need to be embarked on. You're no longer doubting yourself. And I think you're recommitting to something that you love. Some type of project or romantic connection could get a renewal. You could also have a bit of a personal renewal. Now, what I think you're releasing during this full moon is responsibilities, especially if you've given yourself too much to group dynamics, social obligations, or just expectations from other people. There's a lot of emotional labor that you have been pouring out, and that is no longer in alignment with you. So there could be separation from these circles or from future visions that you shared with other people, goals and dreams that you had with other people. These things can feel draining, but I think you just have to acknowledge that you've outgrown them. Okay, Aries, let's pull a card. You got the card. Ten of Michael. This card says, a situation has ended. You are finally free. New opportunities for happiness will follow. Leave the past behind you. Taurus, this full moon completes a cycle around your home, your family, your emotional safety, your inner self. Something that you've been holding on to, something that has been bubbling inside, something that you've been building up internally, especially around belonging, comfort, family security, intimacy, emotions. something about that needs to come full circle. We are ready for new cycles here. Like, we are done playing out these same old karmic loop. You got to learn your lesson and you got to move on. And Taurus, you don't like to be wrong. But you have to remember, this isn't just about wrong or right. This is just life. And these are the experiences we get dealt with sometimes. And you can honor how you feel without minimizing who you are. I think you're also just done overextending yourself to maintain familiarity. You could be ready to initiate a new house situation, maybe rearrange your house. Maybe some of you will be moving homes. Some of you could be changing up roommates. But I think a refresh is much needed. And I think these small changes will have a lasting impact. And your home is important. You know, this is where we go to recharge. And Taurus, sometimes it's not that it's over. It's not that you failed. Sometimes you just need to take a break and recharge. And you'll be able to come back out there with the same fire that you're used to having. And maybe something you have to let go is your expectations or your responsibilities around your career, your public reputation, any long-term goals that you have, any definitions of success. Maybe a lot of your external or professional identity has been shaped from pressure, from anxiety, from scarcity. Maybe this pressure to be seen as capable, as powerful. I think you're bringing in realizations about that, how then it makes what you do and what you're known for, like it's for everybody else, rather than it just being something authentic and true about you. So this could be a time where you reassess your professional commitments. Maybe you redo your work routines or your work schedules. Maybe you step up or down from leadership roles and obligations. Maybe you just start having better boundaries at work. You know, you stop taking that home, you stop taking that on vacation. Maybe you're just redefining what does it mean to be successful. And this is a renewal. You prune this area of life so something better can come in. All right, Taurus, let's pull a card for you. You got 4 of Michael. This card says insights come from quiet meditation, the need for more sleep or time off, seek release from stress. Literally, Taurus, you need to recharge. Gemini, for this full moon in Leo, like you are done letting it be an idea. You are done being on the drawing board. You are done on the manifestation board. You need to be up and about and out there, like making it happen, taking the action. Share your ideas, share what you learned, express your voice, and don't be afraid of not having the skills you need to make it happen. Like you will learn those skill sets as you go. And this is not about doing more or saying more. This is about just doing and saying what really matters and doing that with confidence and presence. Do that rooted in integrity and authenticity. Carry warmth in your force, in your aura. This could be a time where you guys are writing, teaching, sharing, filming, marketing, content creation. And if not that, then maybe you're just cleaning up your digital space so you don't doom scroll as much. You know, the internet can be a useful tool, but we have to have boundaries with how we use it. And you also could be separating from mental frameworks or maybe future plans that you thought you had. They could be travel plans or plans to go back to school or something. You could also be separating from educational paths, spiritual paths, religious paths, certain philosophies. You're just questioning your belief system a little bit more. I think you're questioning what is out there, what's beyond the horizon, what can I fill my day with? For Gemini, I feel like you guys don't like when things get too routine, when things get too boring. You like to mix it up, you like to change. And you can feel that itch again. And I think following that itch just gives you a sense of renewal, gives you a sense of creativity. Even if you can't really change up your life, you can maybe just change up the day. Go take a short walk, go explore somewhere new, go check out the next town over. Cancer, I think you are done questioning your sense of self-worth, your values. I think you are healing your self-esteem. I think that then improves your resources. I think that you are building a safe foundation internally that will ultimately help you to build money, energy, self-respect. All of these things are ready to shift into a better form. You're done shrinking. You're done apologizing. You are done with excess, overly, trying to prove yourself. You're done, just doing too much. You are just here for what is sustainable. You want to honor your consistency, your stability, your ability to show up every single day. And you want to make sure that the energy you put out is being evenly compensated and you're getting a fair amount of energy back for it and resources and time. Because I think you've been giving more than you can emotionally and financially. So it's time to adjust the pricing, the time commitments, the personal standards, the boundaries at work, and let it truly affect your capacity. Know your capacity. It is a power to know your strength. So some of you could be initiating new jobs, new forms of income, new forms of security or saving plans. I think you're about quality over quantity, and you're getting better at supporting yourself, not draining yourself. I think you're letting go from a lot of emotional entanglements, a lot of emotional promises that you've unconsciously made, a lot of shared responsibilities or energetic debts. You could be literally paying off debt. Good time to do a cord cutting for you. You're letting go of a lot of energetic cords because sometimes we connect with people and they be energy vampires. I think it's clear who is that, and you are taking a break from people, spending more time alone, and that's okay. Respect that boundary. Give yourself privacy while you integrate all these lessons that you've learned, while you are trying to put these puzzle pieces together. You don't need to explain yourself or announce yourself to anyone yet. I think a lot of you are clearing old projects, paperwork. I think you're releasing a lot of stagnant energy. There's just been too much stagnant energy. All right, Cancer, let's pull a card for you. You got 8 of Raphael. This card says, there's something better waiting for you. Do what you know is right, a spiritual quest. Leo, you're the star of the show. There's an identity, a presence, a way you take up space in the world, roles that you take on, a trajectory or a direction in life that has come full circle, like it's given you everything that it's needed to give. And now there's a renewal here. You're ready to stand in your authority. You're done performing what you think everyone else would like, and you're getting more authentic. You're respecting yourself more. You have a new sense of integrity, of confidence, of self-esteem, self-value. So stop undermining yourself. Stop being scared of what you can do and who you can be. Stop holding your own self back. And as you further step into yourself, something that you might be releasing are certain partnerships or agreements or just dynamics and unspoken commitments you have. I think you're just becoming aware of what connections are misaligned, which ones are ready to mature and take the next step. You know, rich relationships consist of mutual respect, reciprocation, being emotionally present, and which ones don't. And it's okay to shift your energy here, or just simplify expectations or renegotiate those boundaries with people that you love. Because sometimes we also have to grow with people that we love, but this full moon is great to have those heart-to-heart conversations. Great time for you to do cord cutting. And give yourself permission to take a step back and just observe things before you decide what comes next. Right, Leo, let's pull a card for you. You got the card 10 of Aries. This card says there's so very much to be grateful for: financial success and the promise of retirement, a rich and rewarding family life. Love that, Leo. Virgo, this full moon feels very spiritual, very intuitive, very connected to your subconscious mind, really recognizing those quiet back burner thoughts and patterns. And there could be a lot that you're just seeing or noticing or processing quietly. Maybe you just need more time to yourself so you get more clear on your creativity, your self-expression, your identity, what it is that you really want without having other people in your ear. You've just been pushing through exhaustion. You maybe been ignoring your emotional signals, your body signals. So try to prioritize taking care of yourself properly, resting, feeding yourself healthy. There's a lot of life that you're just or self-care that you're just speeding through. And this energy just wants you to slow down and just take better care of yourself. This is a time to clear out any mental clutter too. And I think you just need to take a step back from that daily routine, and then you can rework your patterns, because something about it is overstimulating your nervous system. Too much energy is being used and not enough is being received. And I think you're seeing what unnecessarily takes your energy. Is it doom scrolling? Is it playing too many games? Is it watching TV? Or is it just obligations and services that we've promised people? Maybe we're consumed by the systems that we're in. And Virgo, you could have maybe been frozen a little bit because of perfection tendencies, or overanalyzing something, or needing to be 10 steps ahead, but you haven't had those 10 steps figured out yet. Sometimes you just have to do things scared. You have to do things imperfectly. But you do them anyway, and through doing them is how you gain practice and mastery. All right, Virgo, let's pull a card for you. You got King of Gabriel. This card says, keep your eyes on the big picture, leave the details to others, experience that leads to success, and genuine concern for others. Didn't I tell you? You don't have to stress about the little nitty-gritty detail. Libra, there's a cycle finishing up here when it comes to your friendships, your community, the way that you engage with the world, how you show up in groups, the way you share your gift, the way you share who you are. And that's because you have changed, you have matured, you have grown. And so it's time for you to bring that self out into the world. Do so without dimming your individuality. Do so without needing approval from other people. And then honor what naturally evolved. A lot of your friends could be moving on, going to college, getting jobs somewhere else, moving town. Be happy for them. Celebrate them. You could also be that friend doing that too. This could be a time of reaching goals, reaching ambition, achievements, congratulations, approval. I think you're also just releasing any people, romantic dynamics or creative projects or any pursuits or ways that you had fun with yourself. I think you're releasing any of those things if they disconnect you from your heart. if they disconnect you from your real self. Example, a lot of you could be staying sober because that could sometimes take us away from the present moment. Some of you are just dropping relationships that feel emotionally distant with people who don't try. I also think you're done with like creative patterns feeling scripted or feeling draining. You know, with all this like fucking AI shit, can be exhausting to consume creativity like that. And I don't think you're abandoning joy. I think you're just redefining how you have it. This could also be like separation from children if any of you have it, in a sense where like maybe the kids go off to college or they go to like school for the first time, so you're spending less time with them. Could also represent separation from the inner child, like maybe you don't carry with you those same childish fears or childish ways of being. Of course, we should always be a kid, we should always have fun, but we also have to be responsible adults too, right? Libra, I did pull a card for you. You got Knight of Michael. This card says time to move quickly, choose logic over emotion, there will be sudden changes. Scorpio, you are completing cycles when it comes to your career. Like you're ready for that next level, you're ready for that promotion, you're ready to take leadership. If you are, you know, an entrepreneur, then maybe you're ready to go for bigger plans. Something about how you're seen publicly is changing, it's shifting. I think you're coming more into your purpose, you're coming more into your authority. I think you have a better sense of your long-term direction. You just have to make sure your motivation is something that's sustainable, because sometimes it can feel like the motivation comes in waves. And if it's like that, it's because you're overextending yourself. And then that leads to like these short bursts of burnout where you need extra time to recharge. But I think success is landing, and it's landing in your own terms. What you might be letting go of is a bunch of like home, family patterns, emotional heaviness. If any past environments have shaped you in a limiting way, or you inherited like certain influence and mindsets and dynamics from your family in any unhealthy way, I think this is the time you cut that off. This kind of feels like you unroot yourself so you could reroot yourself again in healthier soil. This is also a really good time to clear your space. Like I would let go of any objects in the house that anchor you to the past or just have like weird, bad memories tied to it. Throw away like, you know, crap you kept from exes or whatever. Or if you're super sentimental, then at least put them in a box and get them out of your everyday space. You could be also just separating and moving out of like the family home. That's not always a bad thing. That could be a good thing. You're just also creating more privacy for yourself. But yeah, there's a big like renewal when it comes to your home and your space. All right, Scorpio, let's pull a card for you. The card you got is 3 of Michael. It says release the past. Told you, love when the card confirms it too. It says you will grow from this situation and time heals all wounds. Some of you could be like letting go of a job too. Ooh, the box fell right as I said that. Sagittarius, there is a whole cycle ending in terms of the way that you orient your life. This could look like questioning your beliefs, your direction, what your purpose is now. You've learned a lot from your lived experiences. This is about the future promises you make for yourself. This is about letting your philosophy be shaped by who you are now. You have learned and you have grown so much. And now that you're at the end of some type of journey, I think you have gained wisdom. You have gained knowledge. I want you to sit with that for a second and be like, wow, what did 2025 really teach me? Or what did this first month of 2026 teach me? Because I think you have really big lessons here to integrate. And you also have a lot of big lessons ahead of you. But with that comes more growth. And I think what you're releasing could be a lot of mental habits, communication habits, how you process and deal with information could be changing. New information could come in that could cause that big shift in perspective for you. New truths could come in. And I think you're becoming more aware of how much energy is spent analyzing, explaining, stressing, being anxious. And you're learning to take a step back from that constant conversation in your brain. Maybe learning to just take a step back from too much stimulation in general. You better get off the app after this. Go relax, go do something low stim. Some of you could have really important life-changing conversations too. And I also think there's just this detachment from your childhood self, your local communities, your childhood friends or something like that. And that's okay. It's okay to outgrow them. And if they are real ones in your life, time could go by and you guys could always come together and it feels like nothing, no time has gone by. All right, Sagittarius, let's pull a card for you. You got the 7 of Raphael. This card says, time to make a decision, be clear on what you want, and take action, a need for detoxification. Capricorn. This full moon in Leo says there's a cycle completing when it comes to intimacy, trust, how you emotionally bond with someone, your vulnerability, your power, your shared resources, your ability to change and transform. You could have been holding yourself back in these areas in order to protect yourself, which is never a bad thing. Like, we should be picky and choosy with what we invest our energy in, what we invest our resources into. But I think you are ready to make some type of investment. You are ready to commit to something. You are ready to build a bond with someone maybe. And now that the opportunity is here, the universe asks that you don't fear it. And this can be a time where you are reflecting on your fears, your doubts. What are those, scarcity patterns that we run on? Where do you hold yourself back? Where are you overly guarded? And this could be a time when you initiate those deeper conversations with yourself or others, and that could cause a big emotional shift. But overall, I think you have learned your lessons. Like, you know how to create boundaries. You know what is a good investment and what's not. Like, you know the red flag. I also think you're letting go of maybe some type of job, or if it's not a job, it could be like a money habit, or maybe like a self-worth pattern, tying yourself to money in some type of way, engaging your self-worth based on money, likes, views, all these, vain things. Or it could be a resource management pattern that you have. I think you are healing from that. You're coming out of some karmas around that. Money and energy could be very connected. Money and our belief systems could also be very connected, in a sense of the way that we feel and value ourselves, and our beliefs about ourselves can impact how much money we make. So I think you're letting go of those, negative self-limiting beliefs, and you are realizing that you can do more, you can make more. And I hope that you just aren't scared of doing that. Sometimes we are scared of stepping into the spotlight. Sometimes we're scared of, seeing our power and what we're made of, because we're also scared of the commitment that comes with that. And on a practical level, you could just be like simplifying your budgets, your spending habits, being a little bit more reserved right now, so that way you can make a big investment in the future. Maybe you're gearing up to buy a home or buy a car or start a business. But I do see a healthier resource flow for you coming through. All right, Capricorn, let's pull a card. You have the card of Four of Gabrielle. It says, time for a celebration, abundant rewards for your hard work, release yourself from burdensome situations. I love this for you. Aquarius, a relationship or a commitment, or the way that you connect with people one-on-one could be completing a cycle here. I think you just learned so much about balancing partnerships, being mutually present with one another, compromise. And I think you just know, like, what are you willing to compromise? What are you not? Like, what are the boundaries? What is the definition of love? And if it's not that, it needs to go. But also, if you have a healthy relationship, then this could just be a cycle completing, and now you guys are ready for that next level, that next cycle. Maybe you guys are ready to give each other more warmth, more honesty, more integrity. Maybe you're ready to relate on a deeper level. Connection will deepen naturally if it's that, and if they need to be let go, like, that'll happen naturally too. I also think you're releasing any shame around your identity, your image, your body, your just ways that you present yourself. Maybe you're less critical on yourself. Maybe you're becoming less, overly independent. And I think you're learning, where does the emotional distance really come from? And how, if you're emotionally distant from your heart, you're kind of emotionally distant from yourself. I think a part of you is coming home. It's coming back to the self. You're no longer taking things personally. You're no longer letting old hurts and pains trigger you as much as they used to. You're releasing old roles, labels, expectations. And I don't think you're here to reinvent yourself overnight. You're just honoring yourself more. We're doing the self-love thing. You're just letting yourself take a rest from constantly managing your self-image, and actually just taking a moment to truly care, truly nourish. The image I get is a mom who always tells her kid dress like this or do this because they want to look good to other people. If you had a mom like that, sometimes we can be an adult that does that to ourselves and to other people. I think you're learning to become the type of person that says, you know what, fuck what everyone else thinks. What do I really need right now? What does this person really need right now? All right, Aquarius, let's pull a card for you. You got the World card. This card says, a very happy ending, coming full circle, spiritual growth and insight. I love that confirmation of just something coming to a close. And I love that you are going to get your happy ending. Pisces, there is a cycle coming to a close when it comes to your body. It could be the way you view your body, the way that you treat your body, the way you nourish yourself, your daily routines, your energy input and output, your health. But I think something that you've been struggling with there, heal. I think this improves your vitality, your motivation, your everyday life. I think you're done like pushing through exhaustion. I think you're ready to initiate new habits and structures and timing that actually support your growth. You could be refreshing your workspace, maybe changing up just how you work, responsibilities at work, setting better boundaries around the services you give to people. And, you know, sometimes we be giving people free ass services when we don't need to. Like, stop doing that man's dishes and laundry, especially if you don't pay your bills. Even if he does pay the bills, but you work too, stop doing that man's laundry. But I also think you're just releasing a lot of overwhelmed, a lot of, you know, being available to people all the time. I think you are aware of how much you're maybe emotionally carrying beneath the surface and you're ready to rest and acknowledge that. There's like a quiet withdrawal from something. Could be withdrawing from friend groups, from people, from like, you know, an online space or group. But I think this withdrawal is very protective and it's just allowing you to heal and process. And you could always come back. Like, let yourself go. Let yourself go on D&D. Like, you do not have to be available for people 24/7. Which Pisces you can actually do, just because Pisces is really like the lover person archetype. And I think there's also something very spiritual about this time, something very intuitive. You have this sense of faith. You just know that you can like trust what comes next. You can trust the changes. You could be having crazy dreams. Sleep schedules could be off. Try to do your best to keep up with your sleep hygiene during this time. If you'd like me to make a video on that, let me know. I could be someone who sometimes struggles with sleep and stays up all night, so I get needing to have like a sleep routine or get your sleep hygiene on point. All right, Pisces, let's pull a card for you. You got the card Knight of Raphael. It says committed romantic relationships, being swept off your feet, situations or topics that make your heart flutter. I love that for you. I think you deserve that. A little more fun, a little bit more play, so go have it. You've spent a lot of time with Neptune and Saturn in your sign. Now Neptune is out and Saturn will be out of it in 2 weeks. So yeah, like go celebrate, go have fun, go on a little date, you know, go get dolled up.